Hello everyone, welcome to Learn English with Tony. My name is Tony. Today, I will lead you to learn the most important grammar knowledge in English, that is, clauses. I will vividly introduce what is called a subordinate clause and its important position in English. Please don't go away, then let's get started. Before we learn about clauses, let's take a look at a few things. First, the car. Now, let's think about which part is the most important for a car. The engine, right? But in addition to the engine, are many other components such as chassis, transmission, tires, etc. important? The answer is yes. But these components should all be relatively secondary to the engine. Let's think about our bodies again. As far as the external structure of the body is concerned, our head is definitely the most important. Of course, we have many other body parts like arms, thighs, etc., which are also very essential but secondary to the head, right? Likewise, the internal structure of the body is surprisingly similar. The heart is definitely the most important internal organ, while the rest of them, such as the liver, kidneys, stomach, and intestines, are of course also important. To sum up, our head and heart must be the most important of these parts. The rest of the organs are relatively minor. We can see an armless person walking on the street and a passerby with only one kidney. But you will never see a person without a head or a heart walking. Unless he is a zombie. Just kidding. In this way, the car, the general structure and frame of the human body are clearly presented in our minds. That is, there is always one part that is the most important and the rest that are relatively minor. So, the clause is also the same structure. I believe that if you want to learn English well, you must hope to be able to speak out chapters, speak or even write relatively long sentences. After all, we can't just use simple sentences all our lives, can we? So, when we concatenate two sentences, three sentences, or even more sentences into one sentence, subordinate clauses are created. But the problem is, when we string together a few sentences, do you have to decide who is the head or heart of the long sentence? When you've identified them, the remaining sentences are those remainders or clauses. Let us now take a relative clause as an example. In the past, you might have to say three sentences to express these meanings. The first sentence, he is an English learner. The second sentence, he comes from Japan. The third sentence, he is very popular in his school. Does it seem too childish to say this? So, we now concatenate them into one sentence. That is, he, who comes from Japan, is an English learner that is very popular in his school. In this sentence, it is clear that the most important part, he is an English learner, is its head or heart, while the rest is to modify the head or heart, which are relatively minor. So, we can think that he is an English learner is the main clause and the rest are the subordinate clauses. Finally, there is a very important question. That is, we certainly know that for a car, Apart from the most important part of the engine, the rest of the different parts play different roles. For the human body, in addition to the most important organs such as the head or the heart, all the organs must also play different roles. So, in English, we give different names to clauses that serve different functions. For example, if the clause acts as an attributive or adjective throughout the sentence, we give it a name called an attributive clause or relative clause. Therefore, there are adverbial clauses in English. They are adverb clauses because they are equivalent to an adverb. Object clause, subject clause, predicative clause, and apposition clause. These four clauses are equivalent to nouns, so we call them noun clauses. That's it for today's lesson. I hope you can have a new and thorough understanding of clauses. In the next grammar lesson, let's learn the most important clause, attributive clause. See you next time. Bye.